Well, bam! Welcome to another episode of Mike Sports. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Landry. Landry, how are you?
I'm drinking eggnog and coffee, and I'm ready to double down on my Wentz debate.
And so am I. We are definitely going to get into that tonight. Thanks to everybody for joining us. It's certainly the holiday season. It's feeling like Christmas outside for us. We got snow on the ground. Had a nice little ride home. It was fun.
The frost is on the pumpkin.
Yeah, the frost is on the pumpkin. It is. Let's get into this. We've got Thursday night football. The LA Chargers, the Las Vegas Raiders. Please tune in anyway.
I'm gonna go Raiders. I gotta say, you know me. At this point, I think I'm batting. I keep tally of like our wins and losses. Some of them, there are a couple games I forget about unless I go back and watch our tapes. But I think on the Chargers, I've been pretty good on the games I said they lose, and I think they'll lose this one too.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is one that the Raiders, if they're going to be in the playoff race, and they got to have this one. Like, this is one of those you just got to show up, handle your business. And Rob rubbing it in 72 degrees in Pasadena, California. I wish I was there. It's so funny.
In Texas, we went from, it was 74 degrees the other day, and we dropped to 36 the next day, and then we'll probably jump back up in the 70s at some point. So we get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I got to be honest. All the people who always, the song "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas," I always responded, "I'm dreaming of 75 and sunny Christmas."
Yeah, and you know what I tell people after living up north? All my Southern friends, I go, let me make something very clear to you after living up north. This whole postcard, pure white snow shit you see is bullshit. Once you live there, it's gray. There's garbage cans on the sidewalk. Yeah. It's like there's trash in it sometimes. There's a Snicker wrapper in some of the snow. It isn't anything like you're talking about. And the only time you see white snow is when you get taken out to Pine Barrens when they're going to end your life. Like I said, that's about it. That's it. That's the only time. That's the only time that shit happens.
All right. So let's get on the next game. I have been dying to talk to you about this game all week.
The Jets, baby.
No.
Okay. I thought you were going to talk about the best team in the NFL.
We'll get to them. We'll get to the best team in the NFL. But, actually, in my mind, we're getting to them right now. The Buffalo Bills at the Denver Broncos on Saturday night.
Yeah. I'm taking Bills.
Yeah.
I'm going to concede. I'm going to do what Trump can't do right now. I'm going to concede that the Bills are legit. They're for real. I still think they get knocked out first round of playoffs, but I did not take them as seriously in the regular season as you did, and now I do.
Great.
I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Yeah.
And so you definitely know my pick is the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to be picking the Bills all the way.
And for the record, I'm very comfortable with if you can factually make me wrong, I'm just going to put it forward. I'm not going to do the freaking denial bullshit. That would be against my whole psychology practice of things. But I will concede after watching the Bills. Not only that, I think Josh Allen is now an underrated quarterback as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh Allen is legit.
Yeah.
He is what I hoped Carson Wentz was going to be. I made the comparison between the two when Josh Allen was coming out saying Josh Allen was another Carson Wentz. Now
we should make it a tradition. When we talk about quarterbacks, we should always price tag them on what we think they are. Not just they're in the top 5. Like right now, if I had to pay Josh Allen $84 million, probably the contract I give him right now, somewhere around $84-90 million.
Okay, I think that's fair.
You know what I mean? He's not quite, Kirk Cousins bad or anything like that, or solid. He's not on the echelon of Aaron Rodgers or anything, but he is somewhere in between the solid quarterbacks and the great quarterbacks. He's a good quarterback.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
All right. Carolina and Green Bay also on Saturday night. I love this one. This Saturday,
I know we got lots of football. The whole week it's just loaded. Yeah. This is a loaded potato.
Yeah. So Green Bay hosting Carolina. Obviously, I think Green Bay is going to win. I'm not going to touch the line because one thing I've learned this year, don't bet on Carolina Panther games. I just can't get them right.
Hey, I was the one. If you go back, I think it's about 5 videos ago. I told you you're overrating Carolina, and I said, Ron, it's not because Cam Newton's gone. It's not because Christian McCaffrey isn't having his best season or anything. It's because Ron Rivera is not there. It's why Carolina doesn't look like Carolina.
Well, I think Ron Rivera is a heck of a coach. We'll talk about him when we get to the Washington football.
When we get to the Redskins,
the
racist skins, I'm ready to talk about them.
All right. Okay. All right. The Minnesota Vikings hosting the Chicago Bears. Vikings getting back in the playoff race. I personally like the Vikings a lot in this matchup.
I always say this. I said last season, the Vikings are always good come wintertime. They're just a winter team. And the winter's here. And Game of Thrones has chosen them to be House Stark of the cold, and they are ready to play some football. I think the Vikings are going to be a good team. I think they're going to be in the wild card game against somebody battling for the spot, and they have a good chance of knocking someone off in the wild card.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. They run.
I won't commit to first round playoff, but I'll commit to a wild card on them for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that they play good defense and they run the football, and that travels in December and January.
Yeah, well put. Agree.
San Francisco at Dallas.
Okay, so I don't know what is going on with the Niners. I know what's wrong with the Cowboys, but I don't know what's going on with the Niners. The Niners are really getting kind of funky. They're looking like a complete football team, minus the quarterback being 100% solid and injury-free zone. And then the next week, I'm like, wait, did someone get COVID that I didn't know about? Nope, he's on the field, so I don't know what's going on now. And I'm a big supporter. I thought the Niners were kind of the Bills. They were kind of underrated.
Right, yeah, they were your Bills.
Up on you and beat you in a game you didn't prepare right for. Even Shanahan looks a little flustered, like he can't completely acknowledge what's going on. And I have to say, it's really their defense. Their offense is still put up numbers. Their defense just isn't keeping people out of the end zone to me.
So who are you taking, Dallas or San Fran?
I'm going to go I think it's at the Niners, correct?
It is at Dallas.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Dallas then. I was going to go for them anyways, but if it was home field, I'm definitely going to lean them. I think Dallas.
I'm leaning that way too. I think Dallas this is one of those where they're still in that light. They got to see that the NFC East, there's still nobody separating themselves. So they still
right now the Redskins are looking like the front runner.
Right.
And who's going to dethrone them or who's going to take a shot at dethroning them? Anybody, because it's that close.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So, I agree. I think Dallas takes San Francisco. Seattle at Washington.
I think Seattle is going to come back in this game and make a strong statement. I think Seattle got a little frazzled there for their last 3 games. They had a close game. They had a game they lost. They didn't look quite like it. I think Wilson's kind of known for galvanizing the troops come wartime. And I think now that we're getting closer to wartime, I think this will be a loss for the Washington Redskins.
I do too. And I think this really opens it up for the NFCs. We already both had the Dallas Cowboys winning this week and now having the Redskins lose. And right now they're the front runners. That brings that pack right back together again.
Yep. Yeah, if the Eagles are to pull off a win this week and the Cowboys pull off a win, Washington, takes a loss, I mean, we're right there again.
Yeah, what an interesting last 2 weeks of the season it turns into. Okay, so
that makes me sad. I just had a sad moment. You said last 2 weeks of the season. That already gives me it's getting too close to ending. I don't like it. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm with you.
The only thing that keeps me sane during COVID.
I know. We've been grasping at straws for positives, and this is about it.
Right.
Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm going Texans, man. I think the Texans should seriously consider hiring Carmel as their head coach. He's got all the experience that's needed. I think those guys really like him. He's got a player's coach mentality, but a side of discipline that you need at the same time. I feel like he knows what he's doing. I feel like Houston is, they're obviously not winning every one of their games, but every one of their games now is close. They're not getting blown out anymore. There's no just stupid ass plays being called. I feel good at where the Texans. I think the Texans are going to step up in this game.
I know.
Are you going to go Colts?
No. I agree with you, Dr. Nell. I'm going to take the Colts, but I do think it's going to be a tight game. Houston, I agree that Romeo Crennel deserves an opportunity to be their head coach. I think it happens too often where guys, because they fail in one place, they're not given a second opportunity.
Yeah, they're looked at as a coordinator for the rest of their life at that point. A lot of them, yeah.
Look at Bill Belichick. He coached with the Browns. He was the head coach there, failed with the Browns, and then went back to the defensive coordinator.
No, here's what's sad. Here's a sad statistic.
Yeah.
He failed with the Browns, but he also had the winningest record as being a Browns head coach. That is what's wrong with an organization when you have that stat.
Yeah, that's a good way to sum it.
He won the most.
But I'll definitely
never have shit.
Well. Okay, so I am gonna take the Colts this Sunday.
Okay.
Tampa Bay at Atlanta. I mean, this has got to be Bucks just show up and take care of business, right?
Well, look, the Ravens have it. The Ravens, Atlanta has a tendency every once in a while to turn on talent and just play a game. I'm still gonna have to lean though on the Bucks. I think the Bucks got it. I think the Bucks. Let me tell you what I don't like. I don't like seeing Arians in post-game interviews. I don't like his comments about his team and Brady. I just feel like Arians should be a coordinator, not a head coach, in my honest opinion, after watching him over the season. I don't feel like he's a head coach. I feel like he is a coordinator. His frustrations, the way he talks about the game, I feel like he has a lot of focus on certain elements of the game only. Whereas, I think a head coach speaks hopefully. I don't see it. I'm going Bucks. I'm going Bucks by 14 actually. But I got some concerns there about the Arians-Brady relationship.
Yeah, I feel like this is Bruce Arians trying to play sports psychologist, trying to find.
There you go. That's a great way to put it. I wish I would have thought about that. That's a great way to put that.
But I feel like, Tom Brady's been around the block, man. You ain't gonna fool him with whatever you're saying.
Not to mention, he's already had a smarter coach than you.
Yeah.
So he looks at you as a lesser coach to begin with. He looks at himself as a better player coming from a better system. So he's looking at you going, what aren't you doing right around me on defense and stuff too?
Sure. He's already come in with that mindset of, look, no matter how good you are, you're the second best coach I'll ever play for.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way to put it. Another thing, I think Arians, I in my honest opinion, based on the Antonio Brown and things like that, Arians, this is just rumor, or maybe it's been confirmed, I don't know. Sure. But Tom Brady wanted Gronkowski, he wanted Antonio Brown, and Arians was overridden by the GM and the owner on putting those pieces in there. So there's a little bit of, to me, almost animosity from Arians not having complete control over the team like you'd like because Brady is the quarterback.
You might be onto something there. There might be some truth to that. And again, that might be part of the reason why it seems like Bruce Arians is kind of poking at Tom Brady, like, hey, you know what?
Every post-game interview.
Yeah.
Every post-game interview, he mentions Tom Brady.
You're right. It's funny.
It's something right there.
Dichotomy there. Okay, so let's move on. The Jacksonville Jaguars at the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, Baltimore seems to be hitting their stride. Jacksonville is in the tank it for Lawrence sweepstakes.
And Jackson won a last-moment fourth-quarter game under duress in a close game. He pulled it off, which he doesn't do often.
With diarrhea and God knows what else.
So, I got to give him kudos there, but I will say this in the same token. Baker Mayfield looked pretty good. The Browns looked pretty good.
I want to talk about that game for a minute because
let's do it. I just rewatched it actually about an hour before we came on here.
Because I'll tell you what, as you know, I've talked about on this show and others my gambling history, and sometimes I'm not exactly known for coming out on the positive end of some of these wild scenarios.
But for the record, so the audience knows, Eric sought my psychology work because of his gambling addiction. This is how we know each other.
Yeah. That's how we became friends. And you just instead decided to milk me for all my money. All the gambling.
Exactly. I said, hey, how much did you lose in betting and how much do you have to pay back? He told me how much money he had to pay his debts back. That's how much I sent him the bill for.
Yeah, so you just basically my debt. Yeah, it was great. But so I had on Monday night the Ravens -3. And so after they kick after Lamar Jackson comes back from his bout with diarrhea or whatever he had going on, and and comes back out there and throws a touchdown, gets the Ravens the 3-point lead at the end. I'm just I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'll end up with a push out of this. No big deal. No harm, no foul. Yeah. But instead, a few laterals and it ends up in the end zone. And I am doing a happy dance across the living room as I can't complain this year anymore about games I should have won because I had no business getting the win in that. The Ravens -3, and they covered. That is the ultimate backdoor cover.
Yeah. Look, you got lucky on that one, no doubt.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people out there
by both teams. I can now honestly say if the Browns can play that kind of football, if they do face the Chiefs as like the lowest seed against the Chiefs, they have a chance of beating them if they play that kind of football.
Right. I think what it shows is they can hang with anybody. I mean, that was a desperate Ravens team who stomped them into the dirt, several weeks ago. But man, this is a good Browns football team. And I'm not even saying it sarcastically anymore.
Yeah, and there needs to be some honesty there. OBJ leaving the team has helped that team actually get better. I think OBJ was part of what held them back.
I think we're having some issues here with our connection, but
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I hear you fine.
Oh boy.
We good?
I can hear you. I think I'm frozen. But
I can hear you though, so just keep talking.
Okay. So all right, well let's just go ahead and move on. The New England Patriots playing the Miami Dolphins. I think this is a big game. Big game for both teams. Dolphins
Are you going to admit? Because last week you fought me on my Patriots are a hot pile of trash. Are you going to admit? I went with the Bills and I admitted, hey, I was wrong about the Bills. Are you going to admit the Patriots just look like crap?
Yeah, I'll say it. Okay. Patriots are a good football team. You were right.
They look like a mess.
Yeah, they're capable of giving you some moments here and there, but overall, they're not a good football team. You were right. You're absolutely right about that.
I think the whole Cam Newton experiment has been a failure. I think Belichick's trying to work with him in the way he can. And I'll give Cam Newton credit. He's been very humble and forthcoming about that. He has not played good football. He has not hidden that. He's not making excuses for it. It's safe to say that, to me, Cam Newton is not a starting quarterback in this league anymore at this point.
Yeah, I think after this year, you're going to see Cam Newton do the backup quarterback tour where he signs some one-year deals over the next 3-4 years.
Or he could with the Pats. They could say, hey, we're going to sign you another deal, but you're going to be the backup. We're going to sign you for $1 million. You're going to be the backup, if that's okay with you, unless he goes free agency and says, I want to see where my other options are. But at this point, I think Bill Belichick, I built some kind of relationship with you. You know the system. We'll give you another, $1.5 million contract if you want to be a backup.
And I think it could be one of those things where the Patriots kind of put the deal on the table and say to him, hey, if you want to go explore your options, go ahead. That's fine. Go out and look and see what you can get. But at the end of the day, this deal's here for you. And you can come back and sign this deal if you want to come back to be our backup.
Who do you think would be a good fit if him and the Pats aren't together next year? Where could Cam go where he could even be a starter? Jacksonville?
Well, yeah. I mean, Jacksonville, I think they're going to want to go with the draft, but I think
like every year it's like, hey, there's always Jacksonville. Shit don't work out for you.
I feel like that's every quarterback.
Exactly. Like, that's when you go crash and burn. Like, fuck it, I need a couple $1 million and I really don't want to play football anymore. But there's always Jacksonville.
It's like, okay, I need that one more contract, and I'm okay with just crashing and burning and just having my career die. Screw it, I'll sign with Jackson.
Oh, my accountant told me I need to have $1.5 million still in the bank account. Well, I guess the Jags it is. And then I can retire.
I think the Bears are an option.
I can't see Cam Newton in cold weather. I can't see him in a cold weather too. So, well, yeah, I guess that's true. But look how he's playing. Man, that's part of the problem.
Yeah, right. I got a question for you. How about the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, I mean, we could use more of a Dak-like backup probably so that when Dak's out, we're not really like losing our ability to move the ball around and run around the field and make extra, out of a play. Andy Dalton's I like Andy Dalton. He's making his throws. He's looking good. He just doesn't have our receivers aren't other than Cooper, our receivers just aren't getting it done. Ezekiel Elliott's dropping passes. So I don't put a lot of blame on Andy Dalton. So I don't mind if they keep Andy Dalton as the backup personally.
Just an interesting thought, but like you said, that way it's kind of like how Baltimore had groomed their whole quarterback room. Hell, Baltimore could be a good spot for him to go as a backup too.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be an awesome spot for Cam Newton. He not only can he mentor, he'd be just basically a lesser version of what's already on the field.
Because I really like the idea, like what Baltimore did with, they said, okay, we're Lamar Jackson. We're going to run our whole offense through him. If he gets hurt, and inevitably with the style that he plays, he will.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you have a guy who your offense doesn't have to completely change when you go to your backup. And so they went with RG3. They got Trace McSorley, two guys who run similar style.
I am still baffled that RG3 is in the league.
Right?
When I heard his name the other day, I was like, wait, what? I was like,
he's still
playing football? I didn't know that.
Like that major league moment where you're like, this guy here is dead. Cross him off then.
Speaking of which, did you hear the Cleveland Indians are dropping Indians from their name?
That's so stupid.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. We both agree the Miami Dolphins. The Detroit Lions at the Tennessee Titans. I mean, we don't even know if Stafford's playing as of right now. This has got to be a Titans win, right?
Yeah. So I think Titans win. And do you have any projections who might be the head coach of the Lions?
Gosh, there's a couple. I mean, just shooting off the top of my head, I actually jotted down one name that I wanted to bring up to you as a potential because I thought we might get onto the subject, and I want to make sure I get his name right. Peter Carmichael, the offensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints.
I think that's a fair pick. Yeah. I've thought about 5 offensive coordinators in the league, and that was one of the ones I would think of. I only knew his last name, so I didn't know his first name. But, him.
I remembered his last name, but I wanted to get the whole name out. Yeah, Peter Carmichael.
Yeah, I think, and I also think, even though teams don't look like they're winning, I think if they have the right head coach, you also look at them like they're under the right tree. Like I can see someone trying to pull someone from the Raiders. I can see someone trying to pull somebody from even the Colts. I mean, the Colts have been able to do things with the team they have they shouldn't be able to do. So I take a look at their coordinators. I'd also look at obviously I think, and here's a caveat, Jim Harbaugh could make an entrance back in the NFL after this season with Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely, sure.
A lot of people need to think about that. I'm really jealous because I still to this day thought he would have made a wonderful head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. In fact, I'm pissed that we didn't go, we'll break your contract. Jerry Jones will pay it off personally. Come on over. And he has the money to do it. But I think Jim Harbaugh is more successful, not just because his record at Michigan. I'm not using that as my evidence. I just think he doesn't like all the recruiting. I don't think Jim Harbaugh actually likes all that crap. He wants to be able to play football. Yeah, he wants X's and O's, and he wants to go. I think the whole recruiting thing is part of why Michigan he can't attract the talent that he needs to actually compete. Mm-hmm. He got lucky at Stanford. I mean, he had freaking Andrew Luck, who's an anomaly, who was on that program, who could have been anywhere in college football as a starting quarterback at any of the top teams. He just happened to have him there. And then the NFL.
He's just the greatest.
Alex Smith and Kaepernick. Kaepernick was in his prime. Alex Smith was a good damn quarterback. He had lots of talent to pick from, and he knew how to work it psychologically and compete. So I think a lot of people aren't mentioning Jim Harbaugh, but I wouldn't be surprised if he enters the fold. They should have made him the Colts head coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually really surprised. I thought they might do that with the idea of trying to lure Andrew Luck out of retirement.
Yeah. Or shit, Jim Harbaugh could go somewhere else and lure him out of retirement to that team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, I know you've been dying to talk about this game, so we're going to get to it. The LA Rams hosting the New York Jets.
Yeah. Now, are you going to agree with me this too, now that you've seen the Jets play the Patriots, that the Rams are hot?
Absolutely. No, the Rams are really good. Yeah. I didn't give them enough credit. That's a good football team. I still think Jared Goff, I'm not completely bought in on him. He's got one of the easier jobs. Basically, McVay in the headset before each play tells him where to go with the football. Like he lines up there before the mic shuts off. They're always at the line of scrimmage before the mic shuts off. He sees the coverage, and McVay tells him, "Okay, go to this receiver."
I think what we have here is a case of what Brady was accused of but wasn't accurate. I think with the Rams it is accurate. The system makes Goff the player he is on the Rams. I think if we take Goff out of that system and put him on the Chargers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Atlanta Falcons, I think he gets crushed. He looks like crap. He does interceptions like crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think.
So I agree. But he's a smart enough guy. He's got the build. He's got the size to be a pocket passer, put it where it needs to be. He's got the accuracy. He's got the arm. I just don't think he has the intangibles to extend a play. I think he's an architect. He needs to know exactly what he's doing.
But that being said, I think Rams by 3 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, against the Jets. What did they lose last week, too? 40 to what? Was it 40 to 7, 40 to 6?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, they got slaughtered.
I'd hate to be that idiot who thought, man, the Jets plus 15.5 against Seattle is a good bet. I'd hate to be that guy.
Yeah. So I'm I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm gonna go obviously against the Jets on this one. So
yeah,
as usual, the Jets and the Chargers and Jacksonville are my 3 burner teams that I'm like, look, 99% of the time you don't even gotta ask me unless they're against a team that's garbage too.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask, I don't know how this next game that I want to talk about, did not get flexed to the Sunday night game. Like, it's the best game of the weekend by far. And this isn't me doing one of those bait and switches on us. This really is. It's the Kansas City Chiefs at the New Orleans Saints, batten down the hatches. I am really ticked off that the Eagles game is at the same time as this game. Because honestly, I'd almost rather and I've watched 460 or
something. Who are the Eagles playing this week?
The Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch the Saints game.
I'd rather skip the Eagles Cardinals game and watch the Saints Rams game. I think
the reason the Saints Chiefs game is a really good game because it's who I predicted. I think at the beginning, either in one of the first 3 weeks, because I watched how the teams came out of the gate, and I think I changed it. But the Saints and the Chiefs is an early preview of what the Super Bowl might be. If the Saints get destroyed, then I'm like, they may not make it to play the Chiefs again. Who are you picking?
I'm going to take the Chiefs just because it looks again like Drew Brees probably not going to play again this week, which really disappoints me. So I do think the Chiefs, but man, it's in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. Oof. They're just so hard to beat. Even
if
home
Drew Brees is playing, I would
things like that. There's something. I've been in Superdome during the Super Bowl 2013, and I don't know what it is. It just feels so intensely New Orleans. I don't know how to explain it. It's very tight around the stadium, the city, all the little neighborhoods, Marty, all the places you want. They're all right there, so you constantly feel. There's no giant parking lot separating, the New Orleans feel from the stadium. None of that. No, it's right there. It's compacted. Oh, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I thought about it before we talked. I just hadn't come back around to thinking about who I was going to pick. I'm going to lean. I think I'm going to go New Orleans.
Okay.
It could be the second loss of the Chiefs. The Chiefs only lost once, or they lost twice? Once, right?
They've lost once, yeah.
Yeah, this could be the second loss. Here's what I will say. Whoever wins this game, should they meet again, I'm going to pick the other team.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely, but I'm sticking with the Chiefs just because the injury to Drew Brees and him not playing.
I mean, look, the Chiefs are, until proven otherwise, still the defending Super Bowl champs. So I can't knock anybody who's going to take them. And right now, Mahomes and Rodgers are running neck and neck for MVP.
Agreed. Definitely.
Now, before we move on, who would you go with MVP today if you had to pick?
Who would I go with? What
MVP? Would you go with Rodgers or?
Yeah, I'd probably go Rodgers.
Yeah, I lean Rodgers because when I think of most valuable player, I don't think of who's doing the best. I think of without you, would they even have many wins? And without Rodgers, Green Bay is nothing.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I like Devontae Adams, if you took Mahomes out off the Chiefs, Now, Tyreek Hill is still Tyreek Hill. He's still awesome.
The defense is playing lights out, and you still have Andy Reid,
right?
Head coach.
I mean, as much as as much as LaFleur seems like he's going to be a good coach, how much is that is he just lets Rodgers be Rodgers?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think I would say Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. Not by much.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, the actual Sunday night game of the week, and I still can't believe they didn't flex the Saints Chiefs game into that Sunday night game. But
yeah, I'm very surprised. Maybe it could have been one of those things.
I wonder if CBS protected it.
Maybe they thought the Saints wouldn't be where they're at. Maybe they thought the Saints would be maybe an 8 and something instead of as many wins as they got. Maybe they were looking a little more down on the Saints during that game. I don't know.
I just got to believe this is one of the CBS must have protected it. They're probably I think that one of the rules is that in the last 4 weeks or so, each network is allowed one matchup they're allowed to protect and say you can't take that one from us. That might have been the one.
You got to remember with certain teams, each channel has contracts. The Pats play on CBS, stuff like that. And I forgot how it works. I read about the network contracts. Well, it's based on if you play at home.
Yeah, if you're at home, it goes to the other. Yeah, it goes to the other network. Yeah. So if when the Eagles host an AFC team, it goes to CBS because
and this one goes to Fox. And let's face it, Fox is I'm not giving you to Sunday night. Fox is
this one's a CBS game, I think.
Let's see, I don't have a robot helmet. I can't do it. All right.
Okay, the Cleveland Browns, New York Giants on Sunday Night Football.
The Browns or the Giants, we gave them a lot of credit a week or two ago, but they're still not a good enough football team for me. The Browns are playing high-level football right now. I won't take anything away from them until they show me that I overestimated them in the crap. Right now, they seem to be trending upwards as they play the season, so I'm going to stick with the Browns in this one. I think the Browns are going to stomp them. I think Giants still have some heart in them. I think it's going to be maybe a 7 to a 10-point win for the Browns.
Yeah, I think the Giants are playing good football for NFC East standards. Mm-hmm. The Browns are just playing good football. Yeah. And so I think that's why I think Cleveland gets this win. They go in. That's in the Meadowlands. I think they'll get that win in New York. All right, Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Look, without Joe Burrow, I just think they've done an admirable job trying to stay in some games. But this is Pittsburgh. They're not going to lose 3 straight. They're going to show up and handle their business.
Sure.
So now let's get to – I know you've been wanting to talk about the Eagles at the Arizona Cardinals Sunday, 4:05 start Eastern time. I still think I took the Saints last week. I think this is Arizona. I like Arizona a lot. I think that they are a up-and-coming team, just trying to become that championship caliber team. I think they're maybe a step behind, Seattle, maybe right there with a Rams, but I think Arizona's a really good football team, and this isn't a knock on my Eagles. I thought this game was going to be trouble at the beginning of the year before I saw how bad the whole season was going to go. So I'm going to go Arizona.
I'm going to go with the Eagles. I'm going to go with the Eagles by a field goal. I don't think it's going to be a stomp out. I don't think Eagles are just all of a sudden, a top caliber team that can just beat anybody they play now. But I think they showed enough during the Saints where we can compete should we bring our best football and our best personnel on the field in that game. I think the Eagles have basically shown that the coaching isn't as bad as we thought when you have, I think the guy, and I want to give some credit to the head coach of the Eagles. I saw him call some better plays in the last game than he did in the game before, for sure.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think he did it because he feels more comfortable with who's running with that football that can make, to me, I think what I see is an extension of plays happening, and I think that's made him more of a risk taker. Like I saw him in the 2017. He took more risks with the quarterback when he thought the plays could be extended more often. When I say extend, that doesn't mean holding on the ball. I mean actually extending the play, whether that be in seconds or just athleticism, running around the field or whatnot. Now, me and you obviously have a big disagreement on what Hurts means to the Eagles. Put it this way, as a Cowboys fan, I want to play Wentz. I do not want to go against Hurts.
See, and I think you should be careful what you wish for there, because
I'm wishing.
Well, I thought I'm gonna break down, give you my thoughts on Jalen Hurts' performance. He played well.
Yeah, I have more to say. I want to go back and forth. I don't want anybody to dominate for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I certainly thought that Hurts played well, and he played well enough to earn another start this Sunday.
Yeah,
but as far as me saying that that Wentz is done and that Hurts is the guy going forward, I certainly haven't seen enough there.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that either. I have a different take. My take isn't Hurts is the guy. My take is Wentz is not the guy. Mine is more towards with the coach.
I just asked, what about Sunday showed you that?
I think because I now have Foles and Hurts to see the Eagles be a completely different football team than when Wentz is on the field. I have two quarterbacks that show me that with the same coach and a lot of the same team, your team plays as a whole. It's like that one quarterback ignited the defense too. It's really weird to me at this point. Like, you can't deny the changes that you see on the field with two different quarterbacks. And I'm not even saying Hurts is the guy. I'm saying Doug Peterson plays football to me a certain way, coaches a certain way. And I don't know why he looks like he's more comfortable with playing a certain kind of football with a non-Wentz quarterback. And I think that seems to breed success with your team. And the defense seems to become energized. And I don't want to say this because I thought this might be weird to think about, but then I thought it might be real. It's kind of weird to say it. A black quarterback might make brother, so to speak, feel more comfortable about galvanizing around a guy like that.
It's funny. Somebody who I watched the game with, my aunt, said that they said, "Oh, they want to lift up the brother. They want to," and my response was, "Are you kidding me? These are professionals here. They don't give a damn who that quarterback is. They want to go out there. They want to make the money, and they want to get wins. They don't give a damn about about that." So
I won't quote one way or another because I don't know. I just remember the season where people were saying things behind Wentz's back and they wouldn't come forward, which I thought was cowardly. Like, put your name to something if you're going to say it. That's the way I look at it. But the fact is that symboled something for me, not necessarily racism, but it symboled something that there is something about Wentz that people don't like on that team, and those players just won't come forward and put their name to it. I think if they did, maybe some of the psychological stuff would get squashed. But I think Wentz still thinks that's out there somewhere in that locker room against him.
Look, you may be right about some of that. He's got to learn how to block out the noise, and I don't know what it is. And what I've been saying this whole time, the Eagles don't have to make a decision about whether it's Wentz or Hurts right now.
Yeah.
They can't get out of that contract, Carson Wentz. They just can't. They can't afford to cut him. Nobody and even a trade, they would encounter more dead cap. Like, if you cut him, I think it's like $77 million in dead cap. If you
I thought that. I think it's $59 million is the hit they take. 59 or 64, something in there.
But if you trade him, it's
substantial.
Million.
That's why I said he may become the most expensive backup we've ever seen, should that be what the Eagles choose to do next season. Obviously, it's pretty safe to say this season they're just going to finish with Hurts. I mean,
probably.
If people are playing the best football, I think they're just going to see what he's worth anyways. But, from what I can tell, I'm not one of those like, oh, I'm going to crown him. Man, that dude is the dude. He's the one. It's not Hurts that makes me think that. It's Doug Peterson's coaching style and the way the team responds to someone.
And I have an issue with the fact that Doug Peterson says, "Oh, I'm going to curtail the game plan for Jalen Hurts. I'm going to scale back some of the playbook." Why the hell weren't you doing that with your struggling franchise quarterback? You blithering idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, look, like I said, there's something different going on when it's a non-Wentz quarterback. Doug Peterson runs a different offense for some reason.
Well, I don't know. Then he needs to go, because this is the guy that you've invested in as your future at the quarterback position. If your head coach can't work with him, Well, it's a lot cheaper to replace your head coach than it is your franchise quarterback right now.
Now, I wonder if someone said, do you feel like you're coaching very similar to when Nick Foles was playing? Did you dumb it down then? Or did you just go a different route? I would like to see more questions from him on the comparison, if he dumbed it down or he called a different game plan then. Or, no, I called the same game plan as I gave Wentz, but I had Foles. I would like to see that question answered a lot for me.
I actually know the answer to that question. He did change his game plan for Nick Foles, and it happened actually after the regular season in 2017 because Nick Foles played the final 3 games of the regular season, had a good game against the Giants, struggled mightily against the Raiders, and only played like a quarter or so against the Cowboys because it was a meaningless game. But they struggled, and they went back and watched some of what Nick Foles did when he had a successful season in Philadelphia in 2012. Yeah. And so they said, okay, well, what did he do that we can now incorporate into our offense? And so they did change the offense quite a bit.
So do you think this simply could be, not only is Wentz obviously psychologically struggling with some stuff, could this just be a lack of confidence of Doug Peterson and Wentz overall with his game plan?
I mean, I think it's a case of Doug Peterson's wearing too many hats. And he needs to have some more coaching support around him, so like a real offensive coordinator, a better talent evaluator, and a GM. And that he does well when he knows he's in a situation where he's got a backup quarterback because Doug was a backup quarterback. I think he understands that role very well.
Either that or he has a favoritism towards backup quarterbacks because he was a backup one. I mean, who knows?
You wouldn't be the first person who's brought that up.
All I can say is, man, I see risk. I see the Eagles being aggressive and taking risks that when I see him with Wentz, I see him disappointed, like, oh, you're hanging on the ball too long, dude. You're costing us too much. Like, he doesn't go for the same things. I saw everybody saw a completely different Eagles team. But I'll chalk it up to, okay, so Hurts took on one of the best teams and performed well. And, man, that looks bad for Carson Wentz and great for Hurts. Let me see a couple more like that. Let me see him practice at that caliber and play. If he does 3 more games where he's just mowing it down, then I think you have a real competition on Hurts becoming the starting quarterback for the Eagles.
Well, also remember, the Saints didn't have any NFL tape to go back and watch Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Remember, I Eric were texting during the game. Yeah. I said you might have a Dak Prescott on your hands, and the same thing was said about Dak. Dak came in the league the first year. No one had tape on him. He did things that were unexpected for the Cowboys. The second year, he couldn't pull off. He was still successful, but he didn't pull off everything he pulled off the first year.
And look, if you can ride that out and you can win a Super Bowl or you can win a division title on that, good
like
on
a Nick Foles moment, yeah. Where they weren't prepared for Nick Foles' agility.
Right. And Nick Foles was very decisive. Jalen Hurts on Sunday was very decisive. Carson Wentz needs to work on his decisiveness.
Yeah. And Hurts did not have the best throws.
No, he didn't.
But he wasn't the best thrower on the field. But again, I think this league, based on the coaches and what they're competing against with other teams now, is moving towards more of a Wilson, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Pocket passers to me are being threatened and endangered at this point a little bit.
And it's funny. If you go back and look at some of those quarterbacks, like even a Patrick Mahomes, there's a lot of times if you watch the throw, like if you're a diehard Chiefs fan, the way I am an Eagles fan, the way you are a Cowboys fan, and you watch every single throw that Patrick Mahomes makes, you would sit there and say there are quite a few that if you're coaching, you'd tell the other quarterbacks on your roster, yeah, don't try that. You can't do that because that's just he's a freak of nature. You don't want to make those kinds.
We have an anomaly in the league. Right now those two are Rodgers and Mahomes. Not many people duplicate the way they can play quarterback.
Right.
And, a lot of people forget, and Wilson for that matter. Wilson, I have no idea how he's carried the Seahawks through some of the rough times that they have.
You see the way sometimes he maneuvers in the pocket. It's crazy. Like there are times where I'm just like, oh my God.
You know what Wilson reminds me of? He builds and runs and does things like a Barry Sanders in the pocket. He doesn't stop on a dime twist. And to me, Mahomes
and then just finds a way to deliver the football.
Yeah, and Mahomes plays
mechanically
football.
Right.
Mahomes plays football like he's a shortstop in baseball who caught a ball and he's trying to get it to base.
Yeah.
And that's why I think he has a very unique throwing style that people are like he's throwing off the cuff. He's throwing across his body. I was like, no, he's throwing like a baseball player.
Well, and look at the two quarterbacks that we've mentioned that are doing this. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes. Both
Baseball.
former baseball players.
I think Jalen Hurts, should he become something substantial for the Eagles, he, to me, has a Dak Prescott-like style. He's not the best thrower. He's got the legs. He's decisive. He believes in himself. And if he's got to run it, he's okay with having a lot of rushing yards if he needs to, if his passing yards and his rushing yards are going to be almost even. He seems – and how do I know that? One, he's from Houston, Texas. So I know a lot about Jalen Hurts just in general. Mm-hmm. Two, he played in Alabama and Oklahoma, two programs where he played some teams that brought the heat. So he's ready for big challenges.
And it's great because when he was announced the starter, I don't know if you saw the press conference where he was decked out in all his Astros gear.
Yeah. One of the people that were talking about it here was like, oh, he's wearing the cheater uniform.
No, boy.
Yeah. So in Houston, there's a lot of controversy about what he wore. But I have to, one, he's a Houston native, so I support him just from that aspect. Mm-hmm. He played on Oklahoma. I like Oklahoma football. So he played good from that aspect. I think the kid has a great story if you read his personal story. He's always shut his mouth and just played football. And I love that about Jalen Hurts. In Alabama,
it's funny, after
the starting position, he was, and then it was taken away. Mm-hmm. He just did his part and requested a transfer. And he had nothing to say about it. He just wanted to go play football where he could have a chance to show who he is. But he had no words about it.
Nick Saban.
Like, just put me on the field and I'll show you. I'm not going to talk crap. I'm not going to be bitter. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to complain.
And he still has a great relationship with Nick Saban. And that just shows the maturity of this guy. Like, I like him a lot. Like, and the sad thing is, because of how much I'm a fan of Carson, and I've said that I'll be the last guy. I'll be the guy who shuts off the lights on the Wentz wagon.
See, I think the power is going to get cut, and you're going to go to turn off, and it got cut a month ago when you didn't pay your bill. I think that's what's going to happen to you.
See, I thought that due date was just a suggestion, so my bad.
I know you're the guy that you call the company, you're like, oh, I sent a check. I left the envelope open. Like you got all those things going on. I don't know. So we should make a wager on if you think Hurts or Wentz will start next season.
Okay. I'm willing to do that. It
can be something stupid like you owe me a case of Gatorades, or it can be something like, you got to send me a McDonald's gift card, or notice everything I'm saying is you got to send me something.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do.
What?
If Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles next year, I will come on here week 1 when we do our week 1
Dallas Cowboys
down, and I will wear a Dallas Cowboys shirt or something Cowboys.
Okay, fair enough. I don't have anything Eagles, so I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off.
I'll send you something.
Okay, fair enough. That's good. Okay, so whoever's right will wear the other opposing team shirt.
Well, whoever's
on the first episode of next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now, it doesn't count if they're alternating or anything like that. It has to be like they're it.
No. Whoever is slated to start week 1.
Okay.
And if injuries become a factor at all, like in preseason, it gets washed because it's just, I want to know who wins the job.
Okay. Deal.
All right.
Yeah, that's good. I want something cool though. Don't send me some stupid ego. Like, send me something like a cool T-shirt that I might actually use to paint and do all the stuff I don't like to do. Doing plumbing. I'm cleaning a drain in my house. Give me a real shirt.
Well, depending. Well, all right. You know what? I'll even let if you're right, I'll let you pick it out. Or if I'm right, I'll let you pick out what shirt, and I will buy it and I will send it to you.
Oh, there is a store that does NFL shirts that they encrust diamonds around the numbers. I'm down.
All right, but if you win and then I have to wear a Cowboys shirt, it will be something that just gets flushed down the toilet after the show. Okay,
fair enough.
All right, everybody, I think we've taken up enough of your time. Enjoy this weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend to sit down and watch football. Little nip in the air. Maybe this is usually the weekend that I like to spend. I've usually done all my Christmas shopping, and I am. And I will then spend that Saturday wrapping presents and watching football.
And Sydney made a comment down here, and Eric is not putting your comment up, and he should, that Hurts will start next season. And you said,
all right.
New Orleans Saints. Sydney, I'm already a New Orleans fan. I actually do like New Orleans. I try to go to New Orleans if I can, when I can. Which isn't as often as I'd like, but I like to go there. So I'm already a Saints fan, so that's not going to really do anything if I have to wear it. That's just okay.
So I had to say, I hope you're still watching because I made a statement on the Football Smack Talk show a few years ago. I guess 2 years ago, after the Eagles lost to the Saints in the divisional round of the playoffs. Alshon Jeffrey dropped a pass that he probably should have caught, and he would say he should have caught. And that helped the Saints win. I said at that time that the hope was I wanted the Eagles to run into the Saints the next year in the playoffs because they weren't scheduled to play each other in the regular season. But I said somewhere down the line, Saints, we got something for your punk ass. And what you got on Sunday, that was a receipt. So enjoy that. That was a receipt.
Okay.
So everybody, ran over. Have a great night. Enjoy the weekend of football. Had to end it on a little bit of a dark note.
All right, Darth Vader. See ya.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Happy football, everybody.